Good morning, good morning. I mean, good evening. I'm gonna bump that music down just a little bit because it was kinda loud last time. Banana friend, what's happening? Does the microphone work? Can everybody hear me? Sky, Techless blue. That fifth tone red. Black. And that Belcher. We'll start a little bit early. Banana friend, can you hear me? Oh, I was talking with the microphone off again. Banana friend, can you hear me? Let's start with a small brush. Alright, so today we got a 3D printed Custodes tank I am painting up as a Space Marine command vehicle. And there's actually a little story that goes with this one, but I will start telling it a little bit later since we're starting it early and everything. I'm going to put my palette here since I'm not doing so much detail work this time. Banana friend. Alright, I'm going to start on the bottom. I'm going to need a bigger brush for this. Banana friend. Oh, goodness. Banana friend. Oh, he ain't listening. Okay, never mind. Yes, when it's just me and like one other person. I'm not sure if my microphone's not working or if they just ignore me. Oh man, we're gonna use a lot of paint on this. Who we got in here? Oh goodness, we need some more pigment on this. Alright, well I'll just paint silently and weird while I'm waiting for more people to show up. Man, what a pretty blue. Is my light okay? Alright. looking good, friend. Hey, can you hear me? Yeah, I like to do a sound check before I get started. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. Yeah, I get a little paranoid, with especially lately with technology not doing what it's supposed to do. You know what I mean? And last time we talked about that crowds, what was it? Cloud Strike um, update problem. In fact, I still had fallout from that at work this morning. Ooh, we got a little battle damage on here. Oh yeah, this is a thing. I ordered this. Oh, was it? Wow, ancient camping. It's been one hell of a week for me. Hopefully, a nice, relaxing painting stream will make me not want to pepper another tax collector with lead. What do you mean another? Hey man, excited to see how this tank is going to turn out. Last minute looked awesome. Claws look sick. Thanks, man. I try to learn new stuff, but it's just not very often I get to apply what I had learned. So I'll go ahead and talk about this. Gonna lurk while gaming. All right, man. I ordered this for my birthday back in May, but it's so big. It's like I don't know where to start. So I'm just gonna start from the front. So I ordered it from Etsy on my birthday back in May, and this is before I use my friend Damned Primark on Twitter. Him and his family started a 3D printing business after I put this order in. Otherwise, I would have got him to do it. But anyway, so I ordered this from a guy on Etsy, and then I had to go out of the country unexpectedly for a month. But then I come back, and this was delivered. So I'm all excited. Open it up. It's gonna be the centerpiece of my summer project. And there's three main parts. There's the chassis, and then there's these two sides here. The main part of the chassis had like inexcusably bad, just like quality failures, which happens sometimes when you're printing. Just depends on your settings, and it depends on files, a lot of things. But anyway, this guy, I should kind of be careful here. This guy should have known better than to send that to me in that state, and that really upset me. So anyway, I sent him a message on Etsy, and I had him reprint the part question. I still have it because I wanted to show people, what to look for if you're getting a 3D print. I'll show you here, and when I get to a good pausing point here. Am I staying on camera? I'm trying to. It's a little easier since I'm not holding this thing up to my face. I actually have not painted any kind of big vehicle for like 8 years. Alright, so let's just kind of move this stuff around here. I don't want to gobbin up any of these details. Not going to be gobbing any details. Oh, and I had a hell of a time prepping this too, because I kind of have like a self-imposed time limit on each project. It's just, I want to make sure I don't get bogged down. So I was trying to hurry and finish that Terminator with the claws. I don't want to dox myself. Yeah. So I ended up kind of rushing the cape a little bit, but like I said, I'm trying to stick to my self-imposed deadlines. So I'm going to shoot for this for, I want to say 2 weeks. I want to be a little more generous than I was with the Terminator. So I'm going to say 2 weeks. Get good coverage here. Oh, so anyway, what we got here? Those are some fancy looking details. I need to get my hands on 3D printer and make myself something looking that good. Hey, like, you know, I have a 3D printer, but we had a baby, so I had to like put it in the, I had to pack it up, put it in the shed because, I should take this out. I didn't want the baby getting in any chemicals. Plus, I don't have a garage space right now, so I don't want that, the fumes and stuff being around the baby. I ain't trying to have no hills have eyes baby, you know what I mean? But if you got the space and you don't have to worry about, you know, little humans ingesting toxic chemicals, and you got the time for it, yeah, man, it's a pretty good hobby. There can be a steep learning curve. You just got to make sure you get the right files to, you know, cut your teeth on. Because if there's a problem with the file, there might be a problem with the print. And then when you have a lot of problems with the prints, you start getting disheartened. I actually had a Anycubic photon. It was cool when it worked, but it's actually me and a college classmate of mine had a project we were working on, and so I was learning how to 3D print, and she was learning how to 3D model, but she ended up having to back out due to health reasons. This was back during COVID. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, so why don't I talk about the prep on this model, because this was a pain. I mean, all resin models, especially big models, you're going to have like cleanup to do and prep work to get it ready for painting and such. I put my finger in there. Is it dry? Yeah. But so this one, it came with all three sides. They had like pegs and holes, so it's supposed to be, you know, easier for it to stick together and such. But like the pegs, all the pegs didn't fit 100%. So I ended up having to like use my, can I get in there? I ended up having to use my nippers, the cheap ones, to cut off half of the pegs so that it would fit. And I used a whole tube of super glue. Let's see if I can get in there. I don't like, you can see like the glue is white. I don't like that. I know probably nobody will be able to notice, but I'll notice. Maybe I can throw some staining in there or something, or some shading to hide that. But dang, I lost my train of thought again. I didn't sleep good last night. My cat kept waking me up. Help me out, chat. What was I saying? Y'all got to keep me on track now. What's up, dudes? Hi, Texan. Hope everybody had a nice Monday. Oh, I was talking about the model prep here. Yeah. So, let me don't clog up the details now. Alright, so anyway, first things first, you know, you got to soak the resin prints in hot soapy water. Probably got to give them a scrub with like an old toothbrush or something. And oh, the pegs, yeah. So I did all the scrubbing, and then I ended up having to trim the pegs, and then I ended up having to file the pegs down almost flat, half of them, in order to get this thing to fit. And I used a whole tube of super glue to get it to stick. Well, I want to make sure it would stay stuck. Let's make sure we get this all. And even then, I know this guy's running a business, so I can tell that, like, you know, he printed this on the lowest level of detail. There's a lot of detail that's still here, but just, I mean, I would have liked these wings, for example, to be a little sharper. But again, you know, that print, because it's just 3 pieces. You know, this thing probably took, you know, a day or more to print. So, I mean, I'm not going to knock him for that. My man's got a business to run. And what else? Oh, we need some more pigment on there. Okay. So then we go to the priming. I have some Gray Seer primer. That's the only primer I have that I trust, because I got betrayed by this brown primer that I sprayed on these. I have some Dark Tide figures, and I sprayed this primer on these Dark Tide figures like 3 months ago, and it's still wet. Like when I put my finger to it, paint comes off of my finger. I don't know what happened to the paint, but something ain't right. So I don't know. I'll probably have to give those a soapy bath or something to get that paint off. But anyway, so I took these outside last night after they were dry, because I had to wash them again and again to get I wanted to make sure the resin filings were gone. So I washed these things like twice. And forgive me if I sound like I'm rambling, but I don't know why my brain doesn't work. Okay, so I go outside and I prime them, and might as well paint this white too, or blue too. It was humid as hell last night, and you know, you're usually not supposed to prime when it's humid, but again, I needed this done yesterday so I'd be ready to go today. So I primed them anyway, and you know, I did everything you're supposed to do. The damn primer came out chalky. And so I let it dry, and it was chalky, and I was mad. So then I washed them. After I primed them, I washed them again. I'm going to stick to the middle. I washed them again, and then I brushed them with that dirty toothbrush to get the powder off. So the primer is still there, but it's not as powdery. Yes, I'm aware that is very impatient of me. But like I said, when I want something done, I want it done now. Let me check the chat. Oh, 5 viewers. Look at me. Who we got? I mean, if you want to lurk, that's fine. Am I staying on camera? No, I'm sorry. If I'm drifting off a camera, I'll say something now. Alright. I know washing base coating might not be the most exciting thing, but I don't know, it's kind of relaxing. I say my biggest failure, not failure, but failing as a painter is I probably get too impatient and I start gobbing on a bunch of paint on like the base layer, and then it ends up causing irregularities in the surface later on. But I'm an impatient guy. I see that probably didn't need to be blue, but everything else needs to be blue. That's something I noticed on that Terminator Captain too, is because I prime it in white, which I probably should figure something else out. But I already bought it, so I'll use it up and then I might get a different color. Sometimes, if you miss a spot, then there's going to be a little dot of white. So I might as well just paint kind of almost everything blue. That way at least there's no white. Yeah, there you go. Goodness. Plans for any other Army game projects in the future? Man, I got a little backstory on me. I got a kid he's almost 10, and I'm trying to get him into some creative pursuits. He's got a little attention span deficit though, but that'll sort out. Hopefully, he gets a little older. And then I have a 2-year-old. She's almost 2, and she is a lot of work. Like the first baby was pretty easy, and so you say, this raising kids stuff ain't so difficult. Let's have a second one. And we had a second one, and this one is a lot different from the first one. Gets in everything. So anyway, I don't know. That was a roundabout way of saying probably nothing as of now. The kids is going to have to get a little older. Well, I say that, but then it was insinuated to me by the missus that she would like to try for another one when she gets back from her trip here. So this might be the last summer painting project y'all see from me for a while. That's what I'm getting at. I would like to get into bolt action though. I will be playing some Operation Downfall. How crazy would that be? I bet you people do play that on there. Alright. Does anybody else paint the bottom of their tanks, or is that just me? I'm probably going to varnish that too because I don't want it coming off. I don't know if anybody saw, but on my last post on Twitter, it was I was starting to go through the STLs that we had bought in China. I need to upgrade my Baidu Cloud account so I can get faster download speed. Otherwise, I'm going to be waiting the Chinese New Year for those files to finish. Alright, here we go. Not going to gob it up. Has anybody used the STC database? I'm just curious. Or I mean anybody in the anybody watching me right now? Ooh, get that in there. Ooh, that's gonna be pretty. I have I use acrylic wash for the floral patterns. It's just a dark green, and then I will dry brush a light green over it. But this is so big, I might get crazy and put some yellow in there for like extreme highlights. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll get fun. Well, that'll be fun. I could file that, but I mean, whatever. I will check the chat here. Oh, my oldest was around 12 before he really started to show interest in mini games. Started with bolt action and since expanded to include Flames of War and Kill Team. Kill Team seems cool. There's a guy. It's not Midwinter Minis. I'm pretty sure in Midwinter Minis, the guy who like cheated on his wife with his girlfriend. That's the guy. There's a Canadian guy. It's the guy on YouTube who he's making that Imperator Titan from scratch, if you remember, or if anybody's seen his videos. But he makes really cool Kill Team tables. He did one that looked like it was like the inside of a spaceship. That's cool. I like the idea of Kill Team. You don't have money for, a 2,000 point game. We're here to get 10 dudes and you can play. That's a good idea. I think you can also like mix and match units. It's like these eagles on the front. You got these eagles on there? That's really cool. I haven't decided if we're going to do those gold or white yet. And what's the difference between Flames of War and Bolt Action? I mean, I know it's two different games, but are they similar? Or do they make their own stuff? Am I staying on camera? Oh no, I got paint on my light. Let's see. Kill Team is pretty fun. Games are simple and quick. And the Age of Sigmar. The Age of Sigmar equivalent is what, a war cry or something in it. I don't know anything about Age of Sigmar. I tried to read the wiki before to like get a sense of what the story was like, and it was dumb, and I never picked it back up. And then all the Age of Sigmar fans that I know, I don't know any in real life. All the ones I know online are all cringe, which really kind of course, makes me not want to partake of that. Oh, we're going to leave that black. Actually, I think this part here is going to be red. Let me look at it. Blue, red, red. I probably should have decided on this before I started painting, but yeah, we'll just paint it. We'll paint it on. We'll figure it out later. Sometimes sometimes you don't know what you want to do till the brush starts moving. You know what I mean? That'll be the plan for now. Is this center part here will be base coated with red. That's what we're gonna say. Oh, so anyway, get back to what I was saying about work. We still had, I work at a bank. Well, maybe you don't know that. Well, now you do know that. And we had people calling today because their deposits had not, from Friday, had not been processed and they weren't showing up in their bank accounts. Of course, you would be a little perturbed. So anyway, all that is because they don't know yet, but some intern probably at CrowdStrike didn't do something right. Now look at them. Anyway, so my boss, my direct report or supervisor is on vacation for 2 weeks, and we're kind of slow at the moment, so I have to try to appear busy even when I'm not, because I don't want the big boss to give me no busy work. But I can't upload STLs to the database because I already got a talking to about using up too much bandwidth. My excuse was very convincing though. Alright, so that's fine there. Alright. Alright. What about this one? Red. I'm looking at my guys to see like what this should be. Red, blue. Alright. We're gonna see how this looks. If it's ugly, we can always fix it. I will check the chat. Give me a second, boys. That music's not too loud, is it? Last time I thought it was too loud, so I dropped it down a little bit. Alright. Chat say. Oh, that's funny. Alright. I know I say alright a lot. On camera, y'all can see me. This thing is heavy. Let me get to a stopping point on this blue, and I'll show you the rejected 3D print. Alright, let me see. Hey, I'm sticking the newspaper. Let me see this. So, I think I want to do this part blue. This little part here, plus the door, is going to be red. And Man, I don't want it to be super red. Alright, how about this? Here's an idea. The actual gun casing, gun housing will be lead belcher. This part here will be blue, and then the top and bottom will be red. Why don't we say that? We'll see how that looks. Using a big brush is just really weird to me. I'm so used to the fine details. Alright. Oh, by the way, I had to file this down too on the inside there. What a pain that was. In order to, one of the guns wouldn't fit. It was actually this one. What a pain in my ass. Alright, let's get in this hole here. Blue is actually my favorite color. I don't think you guys would have been able to know that. You wouldn't have been able to tell that. Come back. We're going to have to make a couple. Dang, I don't know how many coats we're going to have to do on this. Alright, so I think that's okay. How long have we been streaming for? 40 minutes. It doesn't feel like that. Okay. Well, looks like we lost a couple people, but that's okay. I just appreciate people coming and hanging for a bit. It's a big ask, man, expecting people to come and listen to me ramble on a Monday night when you could be having dinner with your family or watching TV. So I just appreciate when the homies drop by to hang out for a bit. Alright. I'm coming at it from this way here. That's going to be red too. Alright, I'm confusing myself now. Alright. Hey, Texas friend. What's your favorite color? I was worried this would kind of clog up because of the bubbles, but it does not look like it is. Green. Green. Is that why your name isn't green? Is that why you chose Dark Angels? I might have to focus this like one side at a time. This damn powdery primer. Hey man, close your door for me, would you? Close your door for me, please. Since you don't have no headphones. Staying on camera? I'm staying on camera. I don't know how I can't be on camera because this thing is so huge. I have a Land Raider in a box. I should probably strip it and repaint it, but I don't think it's this big. I do like that about 3D printing is that you can rescale stuff pretty easily and make it whatever size you want if your printer's big enough. So like, I mean, conceivably you could print something like a Land Raider at what, I don't know, 150%, scale it up, and then run it as a Spartan if you wanted to. I'm going to have to come back behind this. Ooh, what happened there? Hold on, boys. We got a little accident here. I don't want that throwing off my texture. So I have this old sculpting tool I use for stuff that's a little sensitive. I played around with oil paints for washes. Not since college. And a lot of people would tell you I specifically choose color schemes so I don't have to buy new paints. I think I could figure it out though, because I have watched a lot of tutorials. Actually, if you go and you look at I've posted them before, but like I started painting, well, like in college, and I was so bad. I painted my first Space Marine at that time. It was so bad that I hung up the brush for how long? I don't know, like 7, 8 years. And well, I come home from overseas and I found all my old Space Marines. I said, you know, let me take a crack at it again. And I painted several of them. Did better. But eventually I got tired of it. I ran out of time. And, you know, you pick things up and you drop them after a while sometimes. So then I got interested in the lore again, so I started just reading the wiki or whatever on my phone to pass time. And I started watching tutorials on YouTube for, I don't know, it was like a year? I don't know. And then I started painting again last summer. And you know, my painting dramatically increased. And I mean, it wasn't perfect, but I did a lot of things I was proud of. And then I've been watching tutorials again, you know, since then. And now I'm working on some, you know, newer techniques, like the glazing on those claws you guys probably saw. Just trying to pick up some new things. And then not being afraid to try new things. That's what she said. Okay, I feel like we're kind of getting it here. That thing. I see. You can kind of see here where like there's an issue with the print where like you lost some of that detail there. So we'll just try to obfuscate that with the paint. And through highlights, we'll see if we can't kind of take away focus from that area. Now, if you were painting on, high detail settings with low layer height, might not have that issue, but the model is so big that sometimes, wacky things are going to happen, like, the print bed might shift. Something like that could potentially maybe throw off like layer alignment. One time I was printing as a prototype of our first miniature that I was painting. This thing was like 90% done, and then the power cut out because there was a storm. But it took like 20 hours to print because I was printing on max detail, low layer height. And the damn Anycubic photon would not. It didn't pick up where it left off. It's like, oh, I guess it's done. So I had so many failures. That wasn't always the printer's fault, because like I said, a lot of times it's the file. User error, usually. But sometimes you just get bad luck. Actually, I'll show you another failed print in a minute. I think we might just have to do this like one side at a time. As in like finish one side to completion, then varnish it, then do the other side. That might be the best idea here. By the way, my lighting here, not that anybody can see it, but I have these halo ring lights. I have a big one I use for area coverage. I think it's it's on air. Both of them are on air. And then I have this adjustable one I use for spotlighting. Actually, I keep it usually right in front of my face because I'm not blind, but I don't know. Anyway, I like good lighting. I got them both at GameStop on clearance. So if you need something electronic, I would always suggest checking GameStop because they had it for about 40% cheaper than everywhere else had it. Ooh. Alright. Blue, blue, red. That's going to be metallic. Alright. How about here? That's going to be red. Red. Alright. I'll let this blue chill for a bit. Let me close this up here. Oh, sorry. Well, there's a lot going on. Have you played? I feel that. Didn't touch any models for nearly a decade. Once the Primaris came out, I started to regain interest purely through modeling and painting. So I watched a good number of videos slowly, picking up techniques and such. I'll say the Primaris, the rescaling to make them more like realistic, that was a big draw for me. I know people hate on them for the lore and everything, but the they look more real, which to me as an adult makes it's you know what I mean. I don't need to explain it. You see me. But here's an example of a print failure. I actually have two because Dan Ferris tried to print this for me. This is a company champion that I had in my database, and they need to be edited. So if anybody has any, they want some practice, I think this loincloth needs to be thickened up or something. So something in there was causing issues with the print, and it would fail at the legs, but everything else ended up kind of okay. Like, yeah, even the sword turned out okay here. So print failures can happen for a lot of the time. Most of it is because the modeler just didn't care. But yeah, let me show you this one. This is the failed print that I made that guy take back. Let me turn the light on here. Let me see here. Let me see if I can refocus. I'll turn it away here. Let me get close. Alright, so here, the wings, there's some kind of resin like layer. So the feathers get lost in this layer and you can't scrub it off. Detail is lost in a bunch of these bits. Oh, there's the piece I was looking for. It's the Allspec thing. Alright, yeah, okay, so there's that. Here's the pegs I was talking about. I had to cut all these pegs off. And there you can see, let me see, can you see? It looks like the print bed shifted right here because this bit here is off, it's sticking out from the side by like 1/4 of a millimeter. It doesn't seem like much, but that would mess up the fit. And like, that really pissed me off because this should not have been sent out. You could tell from a cursory inspection that it wasn't up to snuff, especially right there. That's like the focal point of the model, and it's totally ruined. So I made him reprint me one, and it took him about 2 weeks to get it to me. So this is what we got now. I like it. It's pretty chunky. It's gonna be a lot of work, but I think I'm gonna have a good time on it. So I'm gonna keep working with the blue. We're gonna hit it with another layer of blue. I feel like I'm using up a lot of paint. I'm notoriously stingy. I know I shouldn't be, but I have two pots of this Techless blue. Ugh. Alright. Let's do... I gotta think about this. I'm probably gonna varnish the bottom just because I'm OCD and I gotta have coverage on everything. Man, what a pretty blue. I mean, I know nobody's going to look at this, but I'm going to know. If I didn't paint it and it was all streaky and crappy, I would know, and that would bug me. So I'm just going to get this a nice solid color, and I will varnish it later so it stays solid. Alright. I'm going to focus right here for right now. Oh, I can't remember if I asked you. I know people are going to say I'm a shill for my friend, but you know, that's fine. Texan, if you wanted any 3D prints, you should send celestialforge.net. That's who I'm just going to be using them exclusively. But actually, I think he's our mutual friend. Man vs. Miniatures put an order in too. Oh, this poor brush is getting beat up. I have all the weapons over there too. Those are going to be a separate bag of can of worms, I guess. Alright, we're starting to get a solid color there. That looks nice. just so many projects I want to work on. I want to make this. I got three 5-man Terminator squads I want to do up. I might do that as like a speed test. See how fast I can do it. I got Dark Angels Blade Guard veterans that I'm going to paint up in my homebrew. I just like the winged sword, the Horus Heresy winged sword aesthetic is pretty kino. I even have the, if you see my recent minis I did, I actually have the Horus Heresy Dark Angels transfer sheet, and I use that. Alright, we're starting to get a solid color there. Oh, wow, that's a lot there. My printer is currently down, so I may have to if I manage to get through my small pile of shame. Yeah, I tell you, man, like the printers, when something goes wrong with them, what a pain in the ass. My little Anycute Photon, the film on that little, like, the reservoir that holds the resin, got a hole in it. Resin poured out all over the screen, and in the process of taking it off, it ended up damaging the screen. They're like, oh, well, to get a new screen, that's going to be like $80. That was at the time. And I said, alright, this thing is kind of becoming a money suck at a time when we need to be saving for the new baby. At the time, she was a new baby. Actually, at the time, she wasn't even here yet. So, yeah. Ooh. Some white wings. I think that's going to be pretty, huh? White wings. I made this homebrew like 20 years ago, and I stuck to it. People were like, your name's Space Shark, why don't you do Space Sharks? I said, it's just, I don't know, I just don't say it because it's kind of a pain explaining it over and over and over and over. Oh, I stay on camera? Kind of. Here. Oh, scooch up. Oh, what we got? I'm all about painting things that only you'll get an appreciation for, such as interiors. Ended up doing inside of the Stormbird along with LED interior lighting. Yeah, I see people doing that. I can appreciate the dedication to that extra detail. Stormbird seemed really cool. Actually, I have one in my archive, but I need somebody to test print it. So I have a lot of these really impressive files, and I'm pretty sure they're okay, but you don't know for sure until you get somebody test print. I actually had my buddy at Celestial Forge. He offered to print me one for a discounted price as the test, and I said it was the Imperator Titan. And I said, I really appreciate that, but like, if I had like a 4-foot tall war machine sitting in the house, well, my house right now is small. We're hoping to move into a bigger place here, hopefully soon, if they can hurry up and crash the economy. Yeah, I think I might get divorced. We got all these things going. We're trying to save up money for, upgrading, and I get me a 4-foot tall wargaming robot. I don't think it would go over well. But if I did have one, you can be sure I would talk about it all the time. I would bring it up in every possible conversation, kind of like somebody else that we know on the interwebs. Alright. Alright, it's kind of, the color's coming together. Alright. Might hit that with one more layer, I think. Feeling weird right now. We did breakfast for dinner. Let's see what we got here. The DA Legion decals are money sauce. Hey, bro, you're telling me. Where are they at? They're in my box down here. Like, they just slap. Look at them things. Woo-wee! Especially those there. I mean, I'm not going to totally steal, like, the Death Spectre ones, but they are pretty fire. But I have like 50 transfer sheets. I got like a bulk deal on Amazon, like ages and ages ago. And there's some good ones, like even the Ultramarines, they have really good veteran decals. Let's see what we got. FEP, yeah, it happened to me just recently, hence why it's down. I'm fairly certain it's the same one I had someone printed. Yeah, it's reference. Home prices are retarded. Oh, I don't think I brought this up, but part of my job is Home Mortgage Disclosure Act. So it's pretty much just making sure we report information about mortgages to the government to make sure that the banks aren't discriminating against people based on race, income, gender, geographic location, that kind of stuff. And so I have to review files and make sure we have all the data before we send it off to the government. And a loan came across my desk. Somebody bought a 34-year-old mobile home on a small lot for $300,000. And people were asking, well, maybe it's on the water. I said, I don't give a damn if it's on the water. A 34-year-old mobile home, small lot. It wasn't even on the water, I'm pretty sure. But absolutely insane. Because I remember a double-wide mobile home with, an acre of land just a couple years ago around where I live was like $160,000. Now, where I live, we also have a lot of people from up north and out west moving here. But a lot of that easy money is dried up because they already sold their houses in whatever place they were at, and then they moved down here. Now, that being said, our mortgage business has dried up because prices were high, rates were high, and people are tapped out. But anyway, as of right now, there's no way the average millennial or 30-year-old is going to be able to afford a home, a decent home. So I'm just trying to invest my money in something I think is lucrative, and hopefully it'll pay off soon, especially if the wife's talking about having a third baby, which I would be more than happy to have, even in a a smaller house, you make it work. Well, the Mexicans make it work. Why can't I make it work? Right? You know, I dated a girl in high school who was an illegal Mexican, and they lived in a single wide trailer. She had like 5 brothers and sisters. Alright, that blue's starting to come through. Yeah, you see that? Starting to get a solid blue there. I'm going to move to this side. I'm kind of going over time. Let me try and get like the last, let me try and do the, I can't even talk, finish the blue. And then we'll call it a day. I gotta think, I can't have no streaky blue. I think doing like one color a day is a solid plan. Oh, that's supposed to be red. That's fine. Try and soak up some of this extra paint off of this wing so we don't lose any details. Am I still on there? I'm staying on there. Alright, let's see. Alright. There's a lot, it's like so many flat surfaces, there's nowhere really for the paint to grab onto. Ooh. That's gotta be right. Lots of overseas time makes one realize how good we have it here. Yeah, I mean, let's see, well, I don't know if you, a lot of people know that my wife is actually from China. So, I gotta be very careful because I don't want to seem like I'm picking on people over there. But, so I'll talk about Indonesia instead. We actually went to Bali for, I don't know what it was. I guess it was just a vacation. Maybe it was the anniversary. I don't know. I think it was just a vacation. And get to the airport. We actually flew on a Malaysian airplane like shortly after that plane went missing. And the flight was super cheap because nobody wanted to fly on a Malaysian airline. I think the first one got shot down in Ukraine, like 2014. I think that's what happened. And then the second one, there's a bunch of conspiracy theories about what happened to it. Anyway, we get to the airport. We're staying at this place called Villa Samana. It was like a, well, as you could probably guess, it was a villa hotel in the jungle. When we get there, we're driving through, and we lived in China, so we've seen a lot of crowded streets, stuff like that. And driving a hotel, and we're passing by a local river, and there's trash everywhere, all up in the river. And this is in Bali. It's supposed to be a vacation island, beautiful island. Go past the trash. Damn, man, there's a whole village worth of people butt naked bathing together in this polluted river. It was like men, women, children, old ladies, everything. I was like, oh man, this is crazy. So yeah, it's just a little, you see, it's just a little, I don't know what it is, but I'm trying to get it out. Oh, that's just a piece. Where like there's a little layer separation. So let me see if I can just flatten that out. Again, this is because the layer height was kind of big. Like I said, I'm not going to fault him because he's running a business. It ain't UNICEF. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So I never saw that even in China, like communal bathing like that. I know things are different in Bali because there's a lot of Hindus and stuff there. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. But it was just a little jarring. But then we went around the island, like we went snorkeling in the reef, and we went kayaking. And goddamn, if there isn't just trash in the water of this beautiful reef, I'm like, you would think that if you live somewhere beautiful, you would take care of it. But like people in poor countries are just gross, man. They don't respect the place that they live. And it's not just Indonesia. All poor poor places are like that. I mean, you go to a poor neighborhood in the United States and it's like that. People don't respect where they live, which is a sign, lack of culture, lack of education, lack of IQ. And you say, don't shit where you eat. Well, they be doing that. Sorry, what were we talking about? I was rambling. Let's see. Nothing. Nobody's listening to me. Oh, 3 people. Who's here? Texas friend, banana friend is lurking, he said. There's a couple pock marks on this thing. We're just going to say that's battle damage. Let's pull this off there. Oh gosh, I didn't even think I might have to get more Drakenhof Nightshade to do this. Anyway, actually when we went kayaking, the water was so dirty and we complained about it. It's not the tour operator's fault, but I just happened to mention it. Oh yeah, it's like dirty, man. I didn't know it was going to be like this. They actually gave us a full refund. Because, you weren't not satisfied as full refund. But that wasn't really their fault. I was just mentioning it to them. I mean, we had fun, but you just see, you see the pictures of places, and then you get there, and it's marred. I think most places are probably like that. Alright. Did I do this already? Yeah, I did. Oh, not down here. I've like just totally beat up this brush. I'm going over time here. Oh gosh, by like a lot. You know, I listen to these streams the next day to try to see what I might be able to do differently. Like, is the music too loud? Am I talking too much? Am I not being on camera? Like that and stuff like that. I'm trying to get better. Alright. We're almost done here with these blues. Alright. Oh, I need to put this one on here. Alright. Yeah, there's a little bit of a print bed shift. You can kind of see it right here. Can't see. Well, maybe. Yeah, you can see it. You can kind of see it right there. Hopefully, when you get some highlights on there, it will take away the focus from that. Okay. We're working on this side now, and then we will call it quits. My kid needs to get ready for bed. Oh, let me see here. Wildest for me was seeing dudes popping a squat on the side of the road or village in front of God and everyone else in Afghanistan. Yeah, I didn't go to Afghanistan. I've heard a lot of stories, and it sounds. I mean, you know, after a while, a lot of countries start looking the same in the way that people act. You know, in China, that kind of stuff used to be commonplace. Like, well, it wasn't adults; it was usually kids. People would let kids like pee like on the street, or sometimes even poop on the street. Or sometimes you go to the subway stations. And we're in the city now. You go to the subway stations, and people would let the kids pee or poop in the trash cans in the subway station. Now, a lot of that has to do with because especially like old people, they don't really do diapers. They don't do diapers over there, or they didn't. And then a lot of subway stations didn't have bathrooms in them. And this was, when I was living there. This is like 10 years ago. About 10 years. Well, let's see. I went to China again in 2019. This is right before COVID. And they had just done like a huge national, like a sanitation campaign. Literally trying to get people to quit being dirty. So they started educating people, started fining people, and then they started building bathrooms everywhere. So, like, there's a public bathroom close to where we're staying, and it was renovated. So it's just more convenient, updated. Well, we went back in June, and the sanitation campaign is there's a lot of improvements. So all the neighborhoods now used to be when you had trash at the end of the night, you just throw it out in like a big pile. Every neighborhood had their own big gigantic pile of trash, and at night street cleaners would come and sweep everything up. Well, now every neighborhood has its own waste disposal, like a waste management. So there's like an enclosed building, like a shed, full of trash cans with like recycling bins, stuff like that. And you go in there and you put your stuff, and then you close the door, and that keeps animals out of it. There's less rats running around. Like I only saw a couple rats. You're in a huge city, like New York sized city. And I only saw a couple rats. Whereas before it used to be a bunch because they would be out trying to get into the trash. But get total coverage here. So anyway, yeah, the improvements are very noticeable, and it's good. Just well, for keeping a place clean, but cutting down on sickness because China doesn't want to get blamed for anything again. And I don't blame them. Since I'm on the subject, I don't know if oh, San Francisco is pretty the same as that now, huh? I don't know if you saw, but I posted a lot of my China photos when I was over there. I really did not appreciate that some unhinged people took that as the opportunity to go on a anti-communist spiel. There's a time and place, and doing it in the comments of somebody's travel photo, like I'm posting the food that I ate, and he's going off on, oh, communists are bad, blah, 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 blah. Like, no shit. But I just think it's a bit odd to me that people who aren't impacted by what happens in other countries get so bent out of shape about it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay, they did bad stuff, but it's like, my man, do you not see what's going on right in front of your nose, but you're going to obsess online about what communists are doing on the other side of the world? You know what I mean? It's weird. It's weird to me that your own house is burning down, and you're going to obsess over what's happening 10,000 miles away. It's weird. It's weird, bro. But that's just me. I mean, There's one guy he said to me, he says, I don't much care what Chinese people are doing to other Chinese people. And I was like, that's fair. That's very fair. That could be a good tweet. I don't want to get all political or anything, but I don't really care what Chinese people are doing to other Chinese people. That ain't true because I got family over there. So, I have to care, but I can appreciate why somebody else might feel that way. Man, look at that. That is just a pretty blue. And then you still see the 3D print, like the layer lines on here. And it just gives it kind of like a Damascus steel kind of look. And you see that texture under the paint. Alright. I think we're getting to a stopping point here. Oh yeah, we'll put a stain in there, or a shading in there, we'll have a good time. Alright. Oh, one more. Alright, I think we are at a stopping point. Look at this, because I did go over my time. Goodness. Almost. Alright, let me see what the chat says. Dude needs to touch grass and lift weights. Oh, yes, he definitely does. I mean, I try not to argue with people. I don't ever go out looking for the argument. It always comes to me because some people just want to watch the internet burn. You know what I mean? I try to be a good friend to everyone who's nice to me, but if you come shit flinging in my comments, I am going to make fun of you. The wise man does not seek out drama. Why are you starting drama on the internet when you should be preparing for war? Speaking of war, okay. Speaking of war, make sure my safe is locked up. Alright, I know I'm nitpicking here, but I really do need to kind of wrap this up. Alright, I'm going to say that's good for now. Next color, I think I'll probably do this tomorrow. I want to add the, what color is that? Lead Belcher, maybe black. I'll do black and then I'll do Lead Belcher on the bottom. And then I will varnish it so I can just sit this down and not worry too much about the paint coming off on the bottom. I think I'll do that tomorrow. But that's it for me, man. I'm going to take me a break. I'm going to get me something to drinky poo and call the wife and take a shower. Looks like it's just me and you, Texas friend. I appreciate you stopping by. It was good chatting. I will see you back out there. Peace.